Hello, good afternoon everyone. This is Katz from YokosoNews. It's January 30th on Sunday 2011 4 p.m. from Yokkaichi, Mie, Japan. Yes, we are bringing you live from Yokkaichi, Mie, Japan. YokosoNews is the online website to talk about Japan in English. And we have a live show so we can interact more with you guys, and I want you to feel much closer to Japan and stuff. So today we are it's kinda not, I almost wanted to kind of cancel this week's show because I have to take care of my company taxes, but well, why not doing the show about Japanese company tax? So it's super boring show. I think we have 2-3 viewers right now live. Thank you, because I didn't advertise much. But today we have a guest on the phone, Mona from LA, Los Angeles last week. Hello, Mona.
Hello, Kat. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you doing on your taxes so far?
I just putting together all the receipt in order. I mean, I typed in receipt up to August. So
I don't envy you at all.
So I have to file 3 months of the receipt because my fiscal year ends end of November. But so I just 3 months of the receipt that I have to do. So it's not big.
Yuck. Yuck.
Yeah, it's no big deal. So it's all right. So let me first take care of the weekly news of the day. Then we're gonna proceed to the main comment, and then Mona, you're welcome to comment any of the news.
Okay.
First of all, Japan Film Festival Los Angeles 2011. We know we have selected 2 films to show. We haven't set the schedule yet, but one is Paprika, which is the animation, feature film animation directed by Kon-san, who passed away last year. So it's kind of one of the tribune, and I think it's one documentary film about the A-bomb. It's going to was selected and stuff, so that's going to be screened next in 3 months. We are still talking, and then the flu is spreading every year. You see the more area getting orange or red, and it's really spreading throughout Japan. So you guys, please careful. Gargle your mouth, wash your hands soon after you get back home, and then something like that. Especially if you commute by train and stuff. In a train, go to the lots of crowded place. Get the flu shots and everything. But moreover, the pollen season is coming up. Allergy season is coming up too. So we will talk about those health stuff too. Then I found a really interesting TBS news about Thailand. Thai government tourism invited the Japanese cosplayers to Thailand, and then they did the tour. So. And
how many cosplayers do you think went to Thailand?
I don't know. It didn't say how many, but
okay.
It looks like 20-30 cosplayers. I think they invited, and because Thailand is the one tourist spot too. But they are kind of facing the not so many people, especially young Japanese people, don't really get to travel to Thailand as much. So Thai Thai government tourism agency. That's her. She wanted to invite more young people in order to attract the attention from the Japanese young people. They decided to invite the Japanese cosplayer to this World Heritage Site of Thailand, and then you can do the cosplay in the Thai traditional World Heritage. It's kind of make some of the anime, they do this kind of so you kind of get this experience of this. I think it's a good idea. I think.
It seems bizarre. It seems bizarre that something that's supposed to be, dignified and special, a World Heritage Site, and then to have cosplay.
Yeah. Oh, let me.
But for the cosplay players, I think it's probably like a real fantasy come true.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. Okay, let me have the music on.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.
Okay, so next news. Oh man, Wall Street Journal reveal one of the otaku culture. Oh my god, I didn't want to reveal it to the audience, but one of the reporter came to the home of YokosoNews, Yokai City, and then they report about this factory infatuation. It's called Kojo Moe. So what this is that many Japanese, not many, well actually starting to be many Japanese people getting so fascinated by the look of the factory in Japan. Like all kinds of pipe and scenery, and so many people just love to come check out those factories.
So do they want to go see this at night or during the day?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
And so do you have a lot of really beautiful factories in the area where you are, Caps?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know.
So no idea what makes your factories better than any other factories in all of Japan for them to look at?
There's some interesting, like a historic site, what you call open bridge. We have a small open bridge and then and stuff, but I don't know why Yokkaichi City. So actually, my home of Yokoso News, city of Yokkaichi, is considered as one of the holy spots of these Kojo Moe factory infatuation fans. And there are many tours, including this. So city of Yokkaichi decided to do night cruise tour for these people.
And how many people do you think go on a tour like this at night?
Like 20, 30 people per weekend, per tour. So it's like 100, 200 people per weekend or something.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So, it's kind of, night cruise kind of makes sense. You see all the lights and then cruise on the port. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. But,
so what type of factories, what do they make at these factories? What factories do you think they would go see? Are these textile factories or chemical factories?
My hometown Yokkaichi is famous for oil refineries.
Ah, okay. So they're all looking at chemical factories, chemical
factory and processing and food. They also have a food factory, but mainly chemical related.
Okay.
And so you can see all kinds of pipes and lights along with the pipes, they have some smoke tower, so you have to put the lights on it and stuff. So I guess
it's very industrial and architectural, so it could be very much like a modern art.
Could be. It's like a maze, it's like a maze, So some of the modern contemporary artists like to use the iron. It's like iron art. It could be considered as an iron art or something. Sculpture.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason why. But why Wall Street Journal cover my? I kind of wanted to cover this because I read the news about it, but I guess I need to go on a cruise tour one of the days and introduce. Actually, I'm talking to a city of Yokkaichi of people right now to more introduce the sightseeing of my hometown Yokkaichi city. So please stay tuned. But it was interesting. Wall Street Journal introduced one of the people's obsession that is related to home of Yokoso News. So it's kind of cool.
That would be really fun to go on that tour.
Yeah. Well, one of the days you have to come too, Mona.
Oh, I can't wait.
Next, this is it's winter time, so I kind of wanted to introduce like one of the winter event, Matsuri in Japan. This is one of it, and I already introduced it on the Facebook page. Oh, so by the way, if you guys do Twitter or Facebook, Yokoso News has a Twitter or Facebook, so please join us. It's twitter.com/YokosoNews or facebook.com/YokosoNews. I put the link to this website, but it's called So-unkyo in Hokkaido. They are like doing this ice sculpture festival. They just started it January 22nd, and they're gonna be holding this festival through March 27th in Hokkaido. And they have you can see like really, if you go especially at night, you see all kind of these colorful ice sculpture display at night. And
it looks absolutely amazing and incredible. It looks like so interesting that everybody would want to go here and check it out.
It's gonna be cold though. I don't know. But
well, then you just go with somebody you like a lot, so you have somebody to snuggle with and keep you warm.
Yeah. So, Then I read the news that one of the couple just did the wedding last weekend under these ice sculpture and light ups. So
that would be beautiful.
It could be romantic and stuff. And they do a fireworks show. Some of the weekends. I think, most of the Saturday and stuff. I heard. So Japan does not prohibit doing the fireworks throughout. Only like you can. As long as you get the permission from fire department, you can do fireworks show every day. So
and they can shoot them off even in the freezing winter. It doesn't seem to affect the display, huh?
Yeah. So,
because here in Southern California, we only get them at 4th of July.
Yeah.
And no other time of the year.
Yeah.
So that would be really, really fun to see fireworks and ice together.
Yeah. So it's once Yokoso News has more people, I'm sure I'd love to have people from Hokkaido to join us to report what's going on in Hokkaido, the winter, the colder weather of the Japan and stuff to introduce. Okay, next news. 10 years ago, January 26, 2001, 10 years ago, at the station nearby Koreatown, one Korean exchange student was trying to rescue a guy who fell onto the railway from the platform of the station, and he got hit by a train and he passed away, along with the Japanese freelance photographer. So last January 26, 2011, it's been 10th anniversary of this Korean exchange student accident. So their victim's family and then Japan Railway come in, then some politician came to for the memorial ceremony for this event. And then, you know, since this incident, many people finally start coming out the word that we have to do something to prevent from people keep falling onto the railway from the at the station, especially people who are blind, people who are old, people with the baby cars, you know, what you call baby cart? Strollers, yeah. So yeah, so this incident triggered one of the triggers of the safety measure more at the Tokyo station throughout. Like, I know subway in Nagoya City start installing the gate on the platform as well, and they are trying to install it. It's expensive, but so maybe it's slow, but this is one of the things that I like to recognize at the Yokoso News. And you know, yes, so it's safety is first, but you know, that's so. Shin-Okubo, by the way, is the Koreatown of Japan. So if you love to experience some Korean stuff, if you're Korean and living in Tokyo and sometimes miss the Korean food, go to Shin-Okubo.
So how many Korean exchange students do you think you have in your town, in Mie?
You know what, to be honest, I don't know, because of the we have a permanent residence. And I do have to check. I do have a statistics files on my laptop, but I don't want to open more files. So yeah, I do have a record, but I don't know. I don't know.
Any idea what they would be studying? What Korean students would be coming to Mie to study?
Actually, in Mie, many Korean people living in Mie are already here since the war.
Okay.
Under Japan's colonialism, you know, and then they had to relocate to Japan to live. So many of the Korean people living in Yokkaichi don't speak Korean. They grew up in Japan, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have to check how many people are students. I do have a number. Korean people is number 2 foreigners living in Japan. Number 1 is Chinese.
And now, if they came over during World War II, would their children still be considered exchange students?
No.
Even though they're born in Japan?
They have a special visa.
Okay.
Special permanent visa.
Okay.
So then they can choose either to become a Japanese or still keep being a Korean.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have a special kind of special treatment from Japanese government. Of course, they were forced to move to Japan during the war. So yes. So that's. Oh yeah, this is the TV news about the incident. The Korean ambassador came also to recognize that. This is also news, so let's skip it. So next, I don't know if it's too late or something revolutionary, but it's kind of worth the news. So Japan Prime Minister Kan-san launched the English blog. So
I think this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Here in America, we don't get, I read 2 Japanese newspapers every morning.
Yeah.
And I think it's fascinating, his view on things, and it's really amazing that he would do an English blog. I don't know how many people are reading it, but it's really, really cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
And then not so many English news are reporting about Prime Minister, that he's actually started the English blog. So I don't, it's not, I don't know. I mean, Prime Minister has been writing a blog and doing the Twitter for a long time, but they never really did the English blog. So it's kind of, but it's good that English is pretty much the standard language of the world. That's why I kind of I wanted to learn it, and I don't really speak good English, but but at least I can understand. So. But it's really important that more Japanese people can express themselves in English so that you guys can understand more towards it. So, but this is one of the example. I'm not reading his blog though. Much. Well, I do. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. So next news. This is really interesting news. More Japanese college students started learning English. Nikkei. This is from the Nikkei newspaper. Because, like for example, Uniqlo's company First Retailing and also shopping mall Rakuten decided to make their corporate official language to be English. So even though you are in Japan working for a Japanese company, you do have to speak English. This is same with Nissan, I think, as well, because the president, CEO of Nissan is Mr. Carlos Ghosn, who is the Brazilian businessman, so who's also the president of Renault, I think. So these days, Japanese company recognize that they need to go outside Japan. They just cannot be stuck inside of Japan. So Japanese college students start realizing that, oh shoot, I also have to learn English. Then more people start learning English. So that's what the Nikkei said last January 25th. So according to Rosetta Stones, you guys probably know Rosetta Stones, which is the...
We all know Rosetta Stone.
Which is the major foreign language software for computers.
Yes.
Then, according to them, their sales towards the students, the software made for college students to learn English, has increased by 900%.
900%?
Yes. So they're selling the English software 10 times as much as previous year.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then many private English schools in Japan also increased the number of new students by 30%.
So business is good for English things in Japan.
Yeah. So many, and I've been telling everybody, if you have a college degree, if your native language is English or you have an English major in college, one of the easy way to come to Japan is to become an English teacher. Then since more Japanese people, especially college kids, and also same with the people who has been working at the big corporation like Rakuten, First Retailing, they need to learn English because company now requires to speak in English. So it's going to be much more demands of English school this year. Actually, this trend started last year, but it's going to be more this year as well. So if you consider coming to Japan to teach English, this year is the year more people is going to hire you. So
now, if you're working at one of these companies that have switched over to English only, or are in the process of switching over to English only, are these companies offering English language classes to their employees free of cost?
I think so. I mean, of course, it depends. It depends on the company, I'm sure. But I didn't do much of the research. I'm sure they do reimburse the some of the class fee.
Okay.
So.
And do they allow time during the day to do English studies?
Depends. Depends.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I know some of the company, like some of the finance company, I saw the news that they asked these English school to make a software, like online course just for the company employees, so they can bring out your laptop and take online courses of English, and also as well as Chinese as well. So it really depends. Some company design in-house classes. Some company reimburse the cost, then let you decide whichever the English school you want to go to and stuff. And also, not only the college kids, but also elementary school is going to start teaching English as well. So, and moreover, infants preschool is also now start teaching English. Some of the private preschools start teaching English too. So, you know, like...
That's amazing.
Yes.
That is amazing that there's such a demand that they are starting teaching English in the preschools and the elementary schools.
I mean, the trend has been there. You know, so many conscious people has been doing it for like 10 years and stuff. But the thing is that now it is serious, because if you cannot speak English, you're gonna get fired.
I would be in big trouble if I was working at a company and they switched over to new language. And I would get fired if I didn't learn the new language.
Well,
it would be hard.
Yeah, but consider the fact that Japanese people are supposed to learn English from middle school, since the age of 13. So.
So you came through the Japanese school system and studied English from the time you were 13. When you came here to California, how strong were your English skills?
Nothing. I couldn't speak. Well, that's you took college entrance exam.
Yes, I did.
Week. Well, thank you very much for spending your precious time to take a test. But what did you think? Do you think if you learn the English to take that test in order to pass the Japanese university, do you think you'll be able to like use the university? I mean, you use that English in the real life?
Well, I think the English on the test was, it was more formal than we use here.
Yeah.
But if Japanese students are taking that test and passing it, they must have some working knowledge.
Yeah.
Of the English language.
Yeah.
So they must be doing something right.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why, maybe because I could kind of learn, I became able to speak like this in 10 years, maybe. But first couple of years, the problem of Japanese English language education is that they only teach you how to translate. They haven't really teach you how to like think in that language. So
I understand. My second language, I speak Spanish semi-fluently, and our teachers always said, when you can think in Spanish, then you know you can speak in Spanish.
Yep. Like when you start dreaming in like that language, then you are really thinking in that language. So it did take me 3-4 years, maybe 2-3 years to be able to dream in English. Or actually right now, I actually don't know which language I'm speaking when I'm having dream, but I feel like I'm speaking the universal language, like an alien language when I'm having dreams sometime. But one of the problem of Japanese English classes are they are only teaching how to translate. So, but hopefully, because of this, business English, you now require, you're gonna have to talk about the deal with your client or your customer. So you do have to be able to respond quickly. So you now require to think in English in a way. So I'm sure more people are now finally trying to learn how to speak and write and use English, not translating. So
it sounds like a really big challenge.
Yep. But
it sounds like they might lose a lot of employees.
I'm sure they wanna work for this famous company, and they do wanna get paid well. So I'm sure they will. I mean, like even me, I knew we had to be able to speak English for 20-30 years. They've been told. So we kind of being brainwashed that we have to speak English. All Japanese kind of have to speak English in a way. So it's I don't know. We'll see. Yep. So that's
amazing.
That's the news. So like for example, then I found the kind of additional interesting news from Yomiuri Asahi newspaper that one American guy launched the coffee shop in Kyoto. So not only it's like a regular coffee shop, but you do have to speak in English.
So how many American-owned businesses do you think there are in Japan?
There's no formal statistics about it. I can get the number of how many total American people living in the Japan, but they don't really count much.
So my experience is that most Americans who go to Japan work for Japanese companies.
Or work for English language school. But I start seeing more private business owners as well, like this. Like also I know an American guy who owns the ramen store in Tokyo, and I think he just moved to New York and launched the ramen store in New York or something.
And is it so? I know you've been here in the United States, and you've done businesses here. How is it different to start a business in Japan as compared to the U.S.?
Much cheaper.
Really?
Yeah, you can get the visa much cheaper in Japan. I think it's getting more expensive. I think you can get the business owner visa if you have 5 million yen, which is about $50,000-$60,000 US.
So if I had $50,000 or $60,000, I could get a business visa and come to Japan and open up a...
Yep.
Wow.
Which is much cheap.
And can I to get a business visa, do I need to open a certain type of business, or just any business?
Any business. It could be franchise too. I know I saw the news that Chinese exchange students decided to open up some manju store or octopus ball takoyaki store or something in Tokyo. But she didn't open up the original business. She just bought the franchise.
An existing business.
Yeah, I mean it's franchise. So you buy a license to operate the business under their brand. So it doesn't have.
And so a Chinese exchange student decided to open up a business in Japan. And why would she choose to open a business in Japan?
Well, it's the brand. I think it sounds better if you say that your business has a branch you have done the business in Japan.
Okay.
Than China, I think.
Well, it's pretty amazing that a student would have $50,000 or $60,000 to get
from
a
parents.
visa.
In that particular news from TV Tokyo, World Business Satellite, she got the money from parents. And
okay.
And also, you can do the part-time job. You can get the part-time job while you're going to college in Japan, except like a club, all the semi-prostitution jobs, the nightclub.
Oh, the pinku.
Yeah, except those industry, you can get any kinds of part-time job in Japan, even you are here for students.
But it seems like to earn $50,000 or $60,000 at a part-time job as a student would be hard.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, then also the money from the parents.
And the money from the parents. That's probably how she really did it.
Yeah.
Her mom and dad.
Yeah. And then so I'm sure. But so many much in if I want to open up the business in the US, I would need, depends on the region, like US government wanted the foreigner to open up more business in the countryside to generate the jobs. But if you do want to open up the business in the countryside, you still need about $200,000.
Really?
Yeah, to get the visa. It's called investor visa. So it used to be like $50,000-$60,000, but they raised the price. Then it also depends on the industry. It also has to be certain industry as well.
I had no idea that you had to have a couple $100,000 to get an investor visa here in the U.S.
Yep.
That's amazing.
It used to be cheap, but because everybody wanted to do it now, so they raised the limit.
And okay, so this is just money that you have to have in the bank to show them that you've got several $100,000 set aside.
Yep.
To fund your business.
Yeah, then transfer to Japan and stuff, and then really open up the business. So then in the US, there's more restriction. Like you have to have the reserve of I think 2 people or something, salary and blah blah blah. You have to hire 2 employees, American citizens, 3 or something. How many certain number of the American employee full time.
And in Japan, do they have requirements that you have to have so many national employees? Wow.
Nope. So it's actually really easy to start the business. I mean, it has been really tough. It's kind of tough. I mean, you still have to have, $50,000. $50,000 is not cheap. It's very expensive. But compared to the money you have to get ready for the U.S., it's quarter of the amount.
Right.
It's much cheaper. So. But anyway, that's actually good. That's kind of leads to our next today's feature story. But we're still gonna continue to next thing. Shinmoe Mountain located between Kagoshima and Miyazaki Prefecture in Kyushu, start erupting. So some of you may heard of the news since last week. So yeah, so it's getting bigger. So it's getting it might be serious, but no casualty, no injury or stuff. Just a bunch of ashes falling onto the nearby neighborhood, which is actually causing some problems. Some farmers are suffering from damages caused by the ash. Some spinach are
crop damage.
Yeah, crop damage. But not so many casualty. I didn't hear like big rock falling onto somebody's houses or something yet.
And I believe I heard that the schools in this area are closed because of the asphalt.
Not closed, or I think they let the kids home early, or depends on the region. But yeah, they ask the parents to. In Japan, kids sometimes go to school by themselves, with group or alone. But now it's not required for parents. It wasn't required for parents to send their kids to school or school bus, but now some of the region they do to protect the kids from the ashes and stuff. Yeah, so they do cause some inconvenience in the region, but then some damages. But it just right now it's the stage of just a little inconvenient stage. Not so much damage yet, but once. That's why I brought this news at the last of the news of this week, because it's not really a big deal yet. Where is it? According to, I show you the map on the Wikipedia. This is the island of Japan, the map. And it's right here in the red dot. That's where the Shinmoe mountain is.
And do the geologists feel that this volcano is going to get bigger eruptions, or do they think this is it and the eruptions are going to get smaller?
It has the potential to become bigger, actually. They say so. They saw the what you call the magma dome.
Yes. So
they might think that this eruption is just a pre-stage of the big one, or magma dome causes the what's that say?
Eruption?
Not eruption. The I have to. In Japanese, it's called kasairyu. What was it in English?
I have no idea.
Oh, pyroclastic flow.
Oh, okay.
So, the thing that... Yeah.
That a pyroclastic flow is when the lava flows down the mountain and melts the snow and the ice, and it becomes like a giant mud flow going down the side of the mountain.
Yeah. But it's not that. But actually, it's really hot, and the magma. Magma is not too liquidy. So
right, it's very, very
muddy.
thick.
Yeah, muddy. Yeah. So then, they piled up, formed the dome-shaped magma on the top of the mountain. Then, if it becomes too big, then it causes this pyroclastic flow and slope, run down the hill of the mountain. And this flow is like couple 100 degrees, and it kills people. We caused the casualty like 20 years ago in Nagasaki. So.
And do you know when the last time this volcano erupted was?
30 years ago.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
And so they must have an evacuation plan. They must be used to dealing with this.
Yeah, I'm sure. But they are not. But again, this is no casualty, no threat major threat yet, so it's not really a big deal yet. But again, magma dome is growing. It has potential to cause a pyroclastic flow in the future, but I will keep it updated. But again, this is way far away from Tokyo. So there are many people living in Tokyo. in around this area, like couple, 2-3 million people live around this. Not even about 1 million people live around the mountain, but not 10 million in Tokyo. So not so much major stuff yet. It's a bird flu. It's actually getting major concern throughout Japan right now. So. Okay, so last news, good, kind of interesting news. The locomotive is going to revive in Joetsu line from Takasaki to Mizugami, I think, in Kanto area. So locomotive. Have you ridden the locomotive, Mona?
I have. It's really, really fun. I have never ridden on the super trains that they have in Japan. Now, how old do you think these trains are that they've dusted off and put on the tracks?
According to this exact model, C61, serial number 20. Model C61, they were in the museum for 40 years, close 38 years.
And a museum in Japan.
Yeah.
They were stored in.
Yeah, stored for 40 years, and it could be, I'm sure more than 50, 60 years old.
And is this for tourists, or they're just using it for commuters?
Obviously, this is for the tourist.
So this is where the next group of tours should be at.
Yeah, I do want to feature on the train otaku. It's called Te-chan. But there are so many kinds of train maniac. The people who wants to ride on the train, people who wants to take picture of the train, the people who wants to just check out the diagram, schedule of the train. The more actually girls are interested in train, more mother are interested in trains because kids are interested in trains. There are like 7 kinds of the train maniac. Like some people do love taking picture of the train, but they don't care about riding a train. And there's some otaku who likes just buying these model, like smaller like figure trains, but so it's really deep.
Really deep.
Yeah.
Well, here in our area, we do not have the same railway system that, of course, you have in Japan, in California.
Yeah.
We have a really bad railway system.
I know.
It's really awful. But, for example, Rosalie wanted to go to Irvine. Irvine is about a 45-minute... Yes, my daughter Rosalie wanted to go to Irvine. It took her 4 hours. She took the bus for 2 hours to Riverside, which is the opposite direction. She went 2 hours inland to catch the train, and then the train took another 2.5 hours to get there. So it took her 4.5 hours to get what would have been a 45-minute drive in a car.
Yeah.
But she's young, so it was a big adventure.
And then some like people ride on the Amtrak. It's because they love to travel on the train, not on the airplane in the U.S. So they are. And
here in Southern California also, we have people who there'll be a special train trip, and they will dress in costume to wear it. to ride the train. There was, right before the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the anniversary of Pearl Harbor Day here in the U.S., there were people who dressed up in the 40s, costumes from the 40s, and rode the train down to San Diego. It's kind of like cosplay for trains.
Yeah. So
and at Christmas, there are people who dress in Victorian clothes and go up to San Francisco. So it's a different type of otakus. Otakus with costumes.
Yeah. But I'm sure there. So from that, I mean, the train fanatic are all over. It's kind of universal. So here we go. Japan also going to revive the locomotive. They said it's going to. Oh, sorry. This train was made in 1949. So. And
was it made in Japan then?
Yeah, made in Japan. They mainly work in the north side of Japan. Then moved to Miyazaki, Kyushu, and it retired 1973. So it's been 38 years since they retired, but they revive this. So, and it's going to. They plan to operate this locomotive about 110 days out of the year, and they also plan to run it. Besides that, its line, some for the special event. So yeah, people, many people start liking start appreciating old stuff. So,
very nostalgic.
Nostalgic, yep. So that's pretty much it. All right, so that has been the week. What happened this week in Japan? So now we are going to move on to the feature topic of the day, Japanese tax. Mona, I heard you own the business.
I do have a business. I am a ballet and theater designer. And I hate doing taxes, but I have a couple. Mine are not due until April 15th.
Yeah.
So I can lie to myself and tell myself I don't have to start on them yet. Still for another month or two.
Yeah. But what kind of a business do you have, if you don't mind asking?
I build costumes for ballet companies and theater companies.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the business type.
Oh, I'm a sole proprietorship. I am not a corporation.
Oh, so you're doing DBA?
Yes.
Okay, doing business ads.
Yes.
So, this is the good opportunity to talk about what's going on in Japanese corporations. So even for those of you who might want to think about incorporating your business in Japan. But so first type is the same thing as what does that say? How do I pronounce?
Sole proprietorship.
Yeah, sole proprietorship. Yeah, see, I don't speak English well. It's a doing business as DBA. We do have that in Japan. It's called Kojin Jigyo Nushi. It's pretty much the same meaning. Sole proprietary. Kojin Jigyo Nushi. And it's kind of same. So you do the tax return per individual, and so it's like a personal tax return, tax filing. Then we have LLC, we have partnership, and we have incorporation. And we have more type, but I'm just going to make it short and introduce 3 types, which is first one, Kojin Jigyo Nushi DBA, which is you you just do business as a individual, and you just claim your name of the business, and you file the tax as individual. That you do the same thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
only because incorporating, it's a very complicated step, and it's scary for me. But every year I say, I'm going to incorporate this year, but I haven't done it yet.
it's really, you just have to consult with your accountant. Did you consult with your accountant that it's better to incorporate in terms of your how you run your business?
We talked about it, and they said I could incorporate if I want. There are some benefits, but the legal aspects of it, it just seems very big and overwhelming right now. But every year I say I'm going to incorporate, but we haven't gotten around to it yet. We put it off because we're scared of it, because we don't feel competent in that area.
Well, unless you do it, you never feel confident in it, right? So. Yes,
it's true.
well, it never hurt. It never hurt yourself, but whether you filed the wrong number, whether you're DBA or corporation, you do get caught anyway. So.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah. Then you just could waive the liability if you get screwed up.
Yeah.
You still have to register your personal social security number to your bank account anyway, so it will hurt your credit anyway, but theoretically, you could potentially get debt-free if you file Chapter 11 in the US, which is the same thing in Japan. The benefit of the filing corporation is you could potentially kind of escape from the liability, because corporation, the beauty of making a corporation is it has a limited liability. It does not ask you to be responsible more than you have for the capital. See, it's getting really boring.
I have to say, I'm impressed that you know so much about American business structure. What are the structures in Japan for business?
Actually, we start taking the similar approach to the US. So we abandoned one of the limited partnership system. It's called Yugen Gaisha. You can no longer form the Yugen Gaisha, but they introduce LLC. Almost same structure as the LLC of the US corporation, except you cannot do tax pass-through.
Okay.
Yeah, Japanese LLC, you still have to treat as a corporation entity.
Now, when did they switch over to the LLC?
It's about 3-4 years ago. It's really recent.
Okay, and so anybody that had the previous form of business, would they just automatically transfer to LLC?
No, you can still keep the old limited partnership entity as long as it lasts. But previously, you had to have certain capital. For example, in order to make Yugen Gaisha limited partnership, you had to have like 3 million yen capital. So, for example, it's like 30,000 yen. 30,000 US dollar.
Yeah.
You have to have 30,000 US dollar sitting on the bank account when you incorporate it. You have to have like a financial statement to incorporate the company. Then for incorporation, stock corporation, which is called Kabushiki Gaisha, you used to have you used to need 100,000, 10 million yen, which is $100,000 capital sitting in the bank in order to start the company.
And does that money just have to stay in the bank the whole time?
Not whole time. You just have to have it in the bank. No, you just have to have it
when you file your papers.
Yeah, and you can just spend them all. Or I don't know. But as a capital, you had a capital requirement. But I think 3-4 years ago, since 5 or 6 years ago, they start removing that restriction. Now you do not need any capital at all. So technically speaking, in order to open up the bank account, you do need to have money. So now you can incorporate any kinds of business from 1 yen capital.
That's my type of business.
So that's the reason why I incorporated my company in the YokosoNews company called Dear Studio. In Japan, I incorporated as a stock corporation. It's like a C-corp over California. And yeah, so 3 years ago. No, 3 years ago, yes. Then I started YokosoNews. But I now have to turn my tax tomorrow.
Now, you are incorporated in Japan. Is
Yes.
YokosoNews also incorporated here in the States?
Yes, I do have a LLC in California.
So do you have to pay tax for YokosoNews in Japan as well as tax here in the United States?
Yes.
So you have to pay twice as many taxes?
Well, the advantage of having a U.S. corporation is that I don't, to be honest, but it's okay right now. But I do, like, for example, YokosoNews is English. I cannot ignore the U.S. market. So, for example, if I want to sell a advertisement on YokosoNews to the people in the U.S., and then I should have the U.S. corporation anyway. Well, I have been doing the film production in the U.S., so I incorporated in the U.S. to do my film production business and also publishing business as well. But last 2 years, I'm concentrating on YokosoNews doing the reporting in Japan, so I did not have to have a company in the U.S. last 2 years. But yeah, but mainly because I was doing the filmmaking. I was making indie films for the U.S. clients. I was working here all the time. This is my studio. I've been doing the editing and stuff. But yeah, so that's the reason why I have the U.S. company and Japanese company.
That's amazing.
So it's that's so yeah. So there's 3 types, mainly 3 types of the corporation. One is in Japan. One is kojin jigyo nushi, which is it's like a doing business as, sole proprietary, on the other words. And one is the LLC, limited liability company. And last one is the stock corporation called kabushiki gaisha. So difference between three entity is, first one is pretty much individual business. So it's easier. And you don't really have to take care of the report. You can mix up your personal expense and business expense. when you do a tax return. So it's easier. But other two, LLC and stock corporation, you do have to keep the separate accounts. You must separate between business and private expense, of course, I mean, you know. Then advantage of stock corporation is that you can attract more investor because you can sell the rights of your stock. LLC is more negotiation only for the few owners. Then you write on the piece of paper how much percentage you own the part of this company, blah blah blah. So you can be more flexible despite the amount of money you invested into the company. Stock corporation, it's the percentage of the ownership is determined by how much money you spend on the how much money you invested into the corporation. So
now here in California, if you are a corporation, even an LLC, you are required to have monthly or quarterly meetings with the board of directors, and you have to have a president, a vice president, a treasurer, things like that. Is it the same in Japan?
yes, same.
And how many officers do you have to have?
LLC, I didn't incorporate the LLC, but I do have a book. I don't think, you know what, I'm not professional. Yeah, I don't think you need to have the meeting for the LLC. Regular meeting at the, you know what, I don't have, yeah, I don't think you have to have a meeting.
Okay, just looking at the Japanese kanji on the front of that book makes me scared.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to have a meeting in the LLC.
Okay.
But stock corporation, you have to have meeting.
Another scary book.
Yeah, so you have to have at least annual meeting among the stockholder to approve the the revenue report or something. Then approve the numbers and stuff. But
so just once a year.
Once a year. Then you don't have, if it's small corporation, you don't have to have treasury or vice president for the stock corporation and LLC. So you could just run. 5 years ago, you had to have a treasury, you had to have a president, but nowadays you don't need those treasury or anybody. You could just start the corporation as a solo.
So just one person can own the corporation.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's what Yokoso News is owned by me.
Congratulations.
Then U.S. corporation is owned by me and my Japanese company.
You're so powerful. You're like a business mogul.
Nah.
And are you going to institute a corporate policy that you speak English only for you and all of your employees?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe I should make that. Right? Yeah.
You should make that one of your policies. That would be a big news story that Yokoso News has hopped on board the English train and only English is allowed to be spoken at the corporation headquarters.
Yeah, I think. Well, we'll see. So in terms of, so that's the brief introduction of the structure of Japanese company. one of the disadvantages, so it costs almost nothing to start the kojin jigyo-nushi, the sole proprietary, and it costs about 50,000 yen or $600 to incorporate LLC in Japan, and it will cost you around 250,000 yen to 300,000 US yen, which is 2,500 to 3,000 US dollar to incorporate the stock corporation. So yeah, so the cheapest and easiest way to incorporate your company in Japan is LLC, if you don't have to care about welcoming other investors on board much. I mean, you can still welcome the investor for LLC, but it's not like selling a stock, so it's more complicated if we want to have investor, but for LLC, or maybe troublesome.
I like how you say that, troublesome.
But it's LLC, so LLC is perfect for like the business with small ownership, and corporation is good for many owners and then yeah, I want to invite many investors. I decided.
So, in Japan, do you think most people just go straight for corporation, or do you think people start out as a sole proprietor and then shift to a corporation?
Depends. Really depends on the type of the business. For example, some industry, like if you do the food business, like owning a restaurant, they don't really care about whether you do a sole proprietary or a corporation, because same thing with the US. Many people own the restaurant as a DBA. But if you work with the company, sometimes you do need to be a company. For example, you own a web design company, then sometimes a corporate client don't want to hire a sole proprietary because taking care of 1099 is troublesome. Especially if you're on the contract, it's kind of troublesome to fill the W-2 form, something like that. So sometimes it depends on the industry, you do need to form the corporation. Same thing with Yokoso News. I do want to, I will deal with some people, like businesses. So it's good to be reliable, to be a company, something like that. So it really depends.
Now, there is one business form that you did not, well, it's actually a corporate form, because I deal with a lot of art type businesses. We have a lot of non-profit corporations. Do you have non-profit corporations also in Japan?
Yes, they do. But I will introduce that in about next year also, because we virtually have no benefit of tax donation. So
really? Okay.
Yeah, but actually right now the parliament just opened, Japanese parliament just opened. They are actually debating to make a non-profit more tax, can receive more tax benefit.
Okay.
So that's why I want Yokoso News to be somewhat non-profit broadcasting type, you know.
Yes.
So that's what I'm aiming for. But I like, for example, you need to have 50 members.
Oh, so you need 50 people on your board of directors.
Yeah, just the members. Just the members.
Okay.
So you do need to have a 50 members. Yokoso News only have like 7 or 8 right now. So and then I don't have the non-profit don't have the benefit of the tax deductible, and also because I'm doing in English, I'm doing for the people in the US or people in the Europe, they don't pay taxes to Japanese government. So even though you can get the tax deductible credit from Japanese government, you cannot really claim it to your own country. So yeah, I don't see the point of forming the non-profit.
So even if you decide as a corporation, as a stock corporation, that you're going to speak English only, there is no special tax deduction for that.
No.
There's no English tax deduction.
No, unfortunately, no. I do have some tax benefit if I hire some new employees and stuff. But
and does it matter if they're Japanese employees or if they're from someplace else, a gaijin?
I don't. I have to check the law. I have to check the law. Does it have to be Japanese or non-Japanese? I don't know. I have to check the law system. Yeah. So yeah, we do have non-profit. We also, of course, there are LLP, limited liability partnership, as well in Japan. But if you guys have I don't think people have a question about those I don't see on the social timelines. I won't introduce. I don't want to cause you any headache. So, do you have a headache, Mona?
Not yet. Not yet.
I kind of start
because
having.
I'm not doing my taxes, so.
Okay, cool. Because I start having some headache. So, simply, for non-Japanese people, you cannot. You actually could. For example, in the U.S., you pretty much have to incorporate a corporation to receive like a immigration visa and stuff. But in Japan, you don't have to incorporate yourself. You don't have to incorporate a corporation to get the visa in Japan. So you could choose to be a sole proprietary, I think. Don't trust me 100%. That's what I heard. Shoot. My brain kind of sometimes stop functioning. So it's much easier to actually start the business in Japan, much cheaper. But you do need to have like less than 50,000 US dollar. It could be 25,000 US dollar, which is about 2.5 million yen or 5 million yen. I forgot which one was it. But then you can get the visa to stay in the US, in Japan, and work and own your business.
And how long does that visa last? Is there a time limit?
3 years or something. So
that's not bad.
Yeah, and you can renew, of course, if you keep the status.
Okay.
And it's kind of hard to get the green card. Like, for example, in the US, if you keep like 6 years work permit, like H1, you can apply for the green card. Of course, you have to go through all kinds of paperwork. But in Japan, it's really hard to get the permanent residency, even if you marry to a Japanese guy. So
really,
yeah.
So they really do not want new. They don't want to add to the population in Japan.
But many people start saying, well, we might need to accept more immigration. So we might change our mind. And some politicians already start talking about it. Some major corporation CEOs start talking about it. Like Chamber of Commerce start talking about it. So they know that we might need the open up the country. I mean, I do agree too. So that's why I'm doing Yokoso News, so that I want to welcome, I want to encourage, and I want to support people to open up the business in Japan and thrive together in Japan as well. Then I'm one of a supporter to welcome the more business owners to Japan to start the business as well. But,
so what type of businesses would do well in Japan, do you think?
Well, from our latest news, English school may be good. But you do have to have a clientele. You do have to have a connection all the time. And then also internet technology type as well.
Okay.
Software, iPhone app. I mean, of course, eventually you want to go to the Silicon Valley if you just want to pursue the computer business. But we do have some chances for internet business. And then service, restaurant, any kind of restaurant. Japanese people love new stuff, new trend. We always want to create the new trend. We welcome trading, import, export to so import, export, the restaurant, food industry, and then internet ventures or so that's I think. But most if you want to start the business this year, most business that easy and could be successful is English school, I think. Private English school. But you do have to be sociable, and you have to know how to teach. But
the teaching might be the hard part. The sociable part I think I can handle, but the teaching the English part would be my downfall.
Yeah. And then, but I mean, I could say internet venture would be the next thing, but you if you want to do it in Japan, you do have to know Japanese to talk and you do have to know Japanese business custom. Eventually, one day, I like to introduce how to exchange business card. There's a manner that the way that you must exchange the business card.
I have read about this online.
Yeah.
And actually, when I met you at the film festival in Irvine and you presented your card to me and to my daughter Rosalie, when we left the building, said that I did it all wrong, that business cards are very important in Japan, and I didn't look at it properly and acknowledge you properly, that I did it all wrong. So, but I guess that's what moms do best, is do it all wrong.
Well, I mean, I went to school in the U.S. and then I do own the business in the U.S., so I'm more Americanized Japanese.
Yeah, so apparently you overlooked my fatal flaw because I fail at all things Japanese, and forgave me anyway. So, but I still have your business card. I have it right here in front of me. I actually have it right here on my computer. So I do have it, and I will always, I promise I will always look at your business card on both sides and acknowledge you and your business and how important you and your business are from this point forward.
Yeah, but don't worry. When I go to the events and meeting so many people, I don't have time to do everything like that.
Okay, so you didn't even notice.
Yes,
my terrible blunder.
No. I mean, especially because I often go to the seminar and I speak in front of people, and 20 people come to me afterwards and want to exchange the business cards. So then sometimes you have to rush out of the room for the next speaker and stuff. Then of course you don't have time to acknowledge everybody in a formal way. Maybe we do in the hallway, but it depends. So yeah, of course it's all about improvisation. But of course I try to follow the Japanese way. I mean, I started doing business I went to school in the US and I started my business in the US. So I really didn't spend my early business life in Japan, so I'm still learning my Japanese business culture as well. Yeah, but we'll see. So one of the things that, let's move on to the tax. One of the things that little bit inconvenient about doing business in Japan is how to handle your money. So in the US, what I love actually this is the reason why I kind of want to keep my US corporation, is because I do have a debit card, business debit card. Debit card is the card that you can use like a credit card. And you can use like a Visa and MasterCard, but it's not credit card. It directly withdraw from your bank account. So that's how I want to pay my bill sometime online. But we don't have it. We start having more credit card culture in Japan, but we believe more in cash. So, Mona?
So you do not have debit cards in Japan?
We only pretty much do. Well, I last time when I did the research, debit card is only available to personal accounts, not the corporate accounts.
Here in America, here in California, the banks want you to have a debit card so bad, and this is for sole proprietorship as well as corporations.
Yeah.
They will waive all your banking fees if you use the debit card.
Yeah.
They really want us to use the debit card.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's troublesome to write on the check. It's troublesome to mail the check. It's troublesome to deposit a check. Same thing in Japan. We don't really have the culture of check much, unless you deal with million yen stuff. But many business stop using like kind of check. It's called tegata in Japan. We don't really we do have also check system. But we also have the form of the payment called tegata among Japanese culture. You write down the number of the yen, you go to the bank, and bank transfer the money from the company's bank account to your bank account. Here's the thing. Tegata can be transferred to other third party if recipient allows it.
Oh, see, for business that would never ever happen here in California.
Yeah, I don't like that idea of tegata either, but this is actually the business practice going on for over a couple hundred years.
Wow.
So started out from back in samurai era. Really, this tegata is started out between the merchant of the rice and samurai. a couple hundred years ago. So samurai people tax the local farmers by their tax is actually rice. So farmers has to donate the rice to the samurai. Then samurai sells the tax at the market in Osaka. Usually in Osaka, they ship the rice to Osaka. Then a merchant will pay you money. But sometimes sometimes samurai wants to take a cash in advance to do some work like construction, building a new castle and stuff. So they start issuing these tegata. So how do you say, for example, you loan the money from the bank and you put your house or property?
Oh, we call that taking a second out, taking a second loan out.
No. I'm talking about when you borrow a money. You borrow. When you borrow, you turn.
Oh, and you put your house up as collateral.
Collateral. Yeah. So I'm sorry, collateral. So my brain. I partially brain dead. So it's like a kind of collateral based check system. That's called tegata. Then samurai used to use that. So tegata was issued by merchant in Osaka, who samurai promised to bring the rice when farmer crop it, and they taxed it. Then
so it was like a credit slip.
Credit slip. Yeah, it's exactly the credit slip. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's tegata system in Japan. Then we don't really have the culture of the check because it has worked as a check, but many companies had to suffer. If one company went bankrupt, all the tegata went bad. So sometime a company go bankrupt, and after bankrupt, chain reaction. So we kind of don't want to practice tegata. So it now become the wire transfer or cash. And wire transfer is troublesome, even though you can do it online these days. And bank wants to charge lots of money. It takes about $2-3 per transaction. And then so it's going to be cash or wire transfer for most of the business. That means this is my 4 months of my receipt. It's not that bad, right? Compared to this is all my cash transaction. And then I can show you receipt. When you exchange the cash, you have to have the receipt in a certain way. And for example, I bought this yukata from one of the kimono company for 5,000 yen, about $500. And then
that's an expensive yukata.
I bought 3 of them, so it's like $100 each. 150, something like that, with accessories. So here you go. So this is the one of the example of the receipt when you deal with cash. First of all, you have to have a seal of the person you dealt with the sales. Then here you go. You have to buy the tax stamp if the sales is over 30,000 yen. You have to buy it from postal office or your tax office. Then you actually do have to pay the tax to issue a receipt for the exchange over 30,000 yen.
So they don't, when you buy it, when you make the purchase and you pay cash, they don't just tax you then.
You do.
Like they do here in America.
No, that's sales tax. That's you. We do have the sales tax. And then if you make less than 10 million yen, which is 100,000 US dollar, you don't have to charge sales tax in Japan.
Okay.
So my Japanese company, I kind of divide my revenue source between US company and Japanese company, and my Japanese company's revenue is not exceeding 10 million yen, so I don't have to pay sales tax. But this is the tax to special tax called shunyu inshi, special tax just to issue receipt.
There's a tax just to get the receipt?
Yep.
And you have to go to the post office to get that stamp?
Yep.
This doesn't sound like any fun at all.
But only the deal more than 30,000 yen, which is $300 US dollars. So anything below that, you don't have to get this stamp. But anything above 30,000 yen stuff, you do have to get this stamp, and you do have to put the seal between the paper and stamp, so that you are not reusing it.
Now, do you have to go? Is there a timeline? So, if you buy your yukatas today, do you have 3 days to get to the post office and get your stamp?
No, you have
for your taxes.
Well, this is when you issue the receipt. So you have stamp is sold like bundles as well. So you could buy like 100 stamps at once. Save it in your drawer.
It sounds like it's very difficult.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, if you deal more than $300, I mean, it's So you have to be careful when you deal with cash and more than $300. This is in addition to the sales tax. You have to do this. So.
I was going to say, I think it's similar. We have a new law here in the U.S., and I hope I am explaining this the right way as I understand it, because we're all talking about it, is that we have to make out W-2s for any purchase from any business for more than $600.
Really?
We've been talking about it all week, that any purchase, and I believe the law starts this year, any purchase over $600, you have to issue a W-2 to the business and file that was your purchase. So they're really tracking your purchases more.
Oh my God.
Because I believe if you make less than $400, you are not issued a W-2 from your employer.
Or 1099.
Yes, that's it. You don't need a 1099. Because we have one employee who earned less than $400, so they're not getting a 1099. But this year they're saying any purchase over $600, you have to do a 1099 and a W-2 on.
Well, I mean,
I keep thinking this can't be true. It sounds ridiculous.
I mean, previously, yeah, okay. Is that business too? Did you have to W-2 to the business as well?
This is what I am told is happening this year, starting this year.
Previously, we didn't have to do it, right?
Right. We didn't have to do it before, but
yeah.
I will check again because we keep this, in my business group, we keep talking about, how are we going to handle issuing a W-2 to everybody that we spend more than $600 with. Because, if I go up to LA to buy fabric for a project, I could spend $1,500, but I might spend it, it's like a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
And
I
have to send a W-2 to everybody that I bought fabric from. It's just insane.
No, you sold, right?
Both.
What? Even a buyer?
That is what my friend is telling me.
That's strange. Well, I will call my accountant, but that's...
Yes, maybe you can clear it up for me because I don't want to be sending out W-2s left and right.
Okay, but, we still have 1 year to think about anyway.
Yeah, 1 year to think about it.
But today is about the Japanese corporation tax. So, so it's called Ryoshu receipt. And you really have to, then you have to write certain way. For example, you have to spell your company name right. You have to have date. You have to have the name, address, the name of the company, and you have to have the person's seal, income when you give out. And if it's more than 300 yen, 30,000 yen received, you do have to stamp 収入印紙. You could declare, you could go to tax agent's office and do it electronically too, but small business people don't have the luxury of building the system, so most likely you guys have to get these stamps and pay the tax. So that's really troublesome about and also you have to have of course, any company you do have to keep the receipt anyway of all kinds of transaction of cash, but it's really, so that's why many people, only small business, especially business to business, they only want to deal with bank transfer.
Because it's less labor intensive.
And you can do it electronically too. You can now do it online anyway. And you don't have to issue the receipt because it will be saved in a bank book. Bank book, so
that's much easier.
Yeah, but but it will charge you couple hundred yen, couple dollars per transaction. So if you do small deal, then you ended up paying the cash and stuff. So it's kind of troublesome. So but besides that, everything else seems similar to what it is in the U.S. and Japan. I'm not really taking care of my U.S. tax return. Because I have an accountant. But pretty much when I was looking at the paper that my accountant prepared for me, it looks kind of similar. So.
Well, I'm impressed that you're so well versed in American business.
Well, because I was there, and then I do YokosoNews in English, so. And I did work on a non-profit corporation, and I've been taking care of I'm taking care of managing one more company in the U.S. So we had to go over all the tax nightmare from the previous company that I worked for. So I'm kind of aware of it. So that's why I decided I could do the tax return in Japan by myself, because I struggle my thing. And also, in order to run the company, sometimes you do want to understand the nature of the business in all aspects, while the company is small, so that when you become big, you will understand when you, for example, hire bookkeeping employees, then you actually do understand what exact job that they're actually doing. So I don't want to micromanage too much, but in a way, you shouldn't micromanage your company once your company becomes bigger, but at least I understand that I can share this story with you guys. Right? See?
Right.
Yeah, see?
That's the most important thing, that you can share the story with us.
So because of that, even though I didn't have time to prepare for any contents to talk about this week, I wasn't lazy. As you can see on the YokosoNews.com, I didn't have any new articles since the last weekly show. It's not because I wasn't working. I was dealing with all the tax and other projects. So, okay. Let's, I saw Mona is RSVPing this week's show. Oh, Mona, would you like to be on the show? I called you I sent you a message 50 minutes prior to the show, right?
Yep, that's true. And asked if I would be on the show, and I said yes.
So this is kind of really frank. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
But I did see that it looks like you took a break from doing your taxes and took a trip out to a strawberry farm.
Oh, yeah. I had a friend came over from Fukuoka, Japan. We went to college together 12 years ago at the Santa Monica College 12 years ago. She was a graphic design major, and she designed my company logo 12 years ago. Oh,
beautiful.
Yeah, Dear Studio.
Uh-huh.
So she works for a company, and she couldn't take a break during the New Year vacation day, because that's kind of job that she works for. She works for the retail, and then she finally was able to take a weekend off. So couple days off. So she decided to travel from Fukuoka to our area. So okay, I'll take you to. Then she found. I didn't know there was a strawberry farm nearby my home.
Well, I will tell you, it's different than any strawberry farm I have seen here in California.
Oh.
We do have the greenhouses, but most strawberries are grown directly in the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll put the plastic covering down to keep them warm, and sometimes they'll put sheeting or plastic over them if it's going to be very, very cold out. But I've never seen them grown all in raised beds in the greenhouses like they were at where you went. And those strawberries were huge. They were enormous.
You know what? It was small. She is actually small.
Oh, she must be.
So
is she a hobbit?
Yeah, her hand is like 2/3 of my hand.
So she's like very, very small, like a child.
Not small, but she's skinny.
Skinny, okay.
Yeah, she's about the same height as me. Not little shorter, I think. She's like 5'3", 5'2". But her hand, she's really skinny. She used to be athletic. She used to do like a triathlon and stuff. So she's skinny. So her hand is small. But so it's
because they look like they were huge strawberries. And the first thing I thought when I saw the strawberries, I read the title, We're Going to a Strawberry Farm. And when I saw the strawberries, I immediately thought of the Christmas cakes that we always see pictures of here in America, the Christmas cakes in Japan that always have strawberries on top. And can you tell us why at Christmas time they would put strawberries on top of their cakes?
Because it's, it's more colorful, I think. To be honest, I do have to do research, but from what I heard, there's a cake called shortcake in Japan. That's been the standard. Kinda when cake first came to Japan, the most popular cake in Japan, this kind called shortcake became the most popular cake in Japan like 40-50 years ago. That cake is made of regular sponge wrapped with the cream. On top of that, they put the strawberry on it. So among many Japanese, cake pretty much represent the shortcake, which is regular brown sponge and then wrapped with the white cream and put the strawberry on top.
So in Japan, first let me clarify. In Japan, there were no cakes 40 or 50 years ago. That's when the first cake showed up in Japan.
Of course, there were over 100 years. I think more than 500 years ago there were cake. But
Thank goodness. Thank goodness, because you could not live without cake. So
we have a manju. We have mochi.
Oh, we love mochi.
See, I mean, we have a red bean, sweet red bean mochi inside and stuff. So we could, because of that, we could live without cake.
So, but about 40 or 50 years ago, it became the tradition to have a cake and have strawberries on top of it.
More pastry chef. There were more more people could travel to the France. More people study in France or Italy to learn how to make a pastry, Western style pastry, or first pastry chef start arriving to Japan like 100 years ago, right after the samurai era, in Meiji era, when people finally the Japanese government opened up. Before that, we were closed. We didn't allow trading to any other country but Dutch and China. And then, so we didn't have much of the Western influence up to 200 years ago. But 200.
So I can see why you would trade with China, but what did the Dutch have that Japan wanted so badly?
They didn't have much. Japanese government were afraid of Christianity.
Yes.
But Dutch didn't have much of the Christian influence.
Oh, okay. So they were not actively promoting Christianity, and that is why the Japanese government let them in.
400, 500 years ago. But still, they were still afraid of Christianity influence, so they only limit the trading in Nagasaki. So if you go to Nagasaki, there are Dutch influence. There's a huge Dutch influence and Chinese influence in Nagasaki, because Nagasaki was the only port that can be traded to China and Dutch.
So was Nagasaki considered to be like a really wild Las Vegas-y type of town because all these foreigners were there and everything was bizarre and unusual and you could do anything you wanted there?
But Nagasaki is 1,000 miles west of Tokyo.
So it was very isolated.
Yeah.
So the foreigners that came to Nagasaki weren't able to contaminate the rest of Japan
because
with their
they
evil
were
ways.
they kept away because they've been kept away.
Yeah, they were isolated.
Yep. So so Nagasaki is heavily influenced, but because they're it used to take a month to get to Tokyo.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right. So it's like a US. It used to take you a month to move from the New York to California, right?
Yeah.
So same thing. And not only the Rocky Mountain and desert, we have so many mountains in between, so many rivers and cross the ocean. It was actually a life-threatening experience, especially between the Kyushu and Honshu area and stuff. But because
it must have been very exotic 100 years ago when the pastry chefs started coming in.
Yep.
I'm sure all the Japanese people thought they had never seen anything like these crazy desserts.
Yep. I'm sure. And same with curry too.
Oh, I can't. It's so hard to imagine Japan without curry 100 years ago. It seems impossible. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. So 100 years ago, curry came in. But
amazing.
So 100 years ago, pastry chefs started coming into Japan, and people more trained themselves to pastry. Then we had a war, so we were poor, before and after the war. So Western snack didn't get too popular until 20 years after the World War II, which is 1950, 1960. Finally, we start thriving by making, we were like China of 50 years ago. We used to be a manufacturer of the world.
I remember when I was a young girl, everything said made in Japan on it, and it was kind of like the big joke that this was not a high quality item because it said made in Japan on the back.
Yeah.
And now Japan has overcome whatever that image was, and it's the best things in the world are made in Japan now.
Yep. So anyway, we had to manufacture all kinds of Western stuff. Then that's 1960. So that's when shortcake became popular. Almost all Japanese people now able to afford the shortcake, and more pastry chefs start training. But one of the basic cake is that shortcake, which is the regular sponge and whipped cream and strawberry on top. That's the reason why you see cake. You see strawberry on the major part, most of the major Japanese, the cake made in Japan.
And do strawberries, are they indigenous to Japan, or is that a Western import as well?
I think it's Western import. I think so. I have to check. Don't trust me. That's good. That's good that you keep asking me a question. Because I cannot do, even though I'm 100% Japanese, as you can see, I don't talk like Japanese people sometimes. So, but that's why I need you guys. I need your help, Mona, to guide me through, and you are guiding me through. So, it's okay, cool. So it's been a 2-hour show. Anything else? I don't want to keep you too much because it's too late for you, and I still have to type this much of the entry to my accounting software. So. Yuck. But any thought? Any more question about Japanese tax and everything, Mona?
Not so much. We like to avoid the unpleasantness altogether. The one thing I can say, it sounds like in Japan they hate taxes and tax season as much as we do here in America.
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
And I was hoping Last week you said you might do a Valentine's special. We would love to know about Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
it's very, very different.
Yeah, I wanted to. Okay, so yeah, Valentine's. I canceled it last minute, and I wanted to call some Japanese girl to be on board, but I was busy doing taxes, so I didn't. And
can you get it next week, maybe?
I will try. I still chase after the many deadline, but I can, from my guy's perspective, I can tell you. So Valentine's Day is the day that guys receive chocolate from girls.
So it's your favorite day of the year?
Not really. It's either your favorite. For guys, it's either your favorite day or depressing day of the year.
Okay. So it lets you know if girls really like you or not.
Yeah, so there's two kinds of chocolate that girls are supposed to give out. One is giri choco. Giri means like pretend, fake chocolate. Or, I don't know, I think, yeah, fake or pretend chocolate. So you just buy cheap chocolate like 100 yen, 200 yen. Just buy it from the chocolate store and just give out. Your coworker, your schoolmates that you don't really care much, but your schoolmate, your coworker, so let's give out. So that's called giri choco.
Giri choco.
Giri choco. So, like the chocolate that you just buy cheap. Just show you appreciation. Thank you for being friends and stuff. Then, other kind, it's called homemade choco.
Homemade choco.
Homemade choco.
Homemade choco.
Yeah, homemade means like primarily or true heart chocolate.
So it's for the people you really like.
Yeah. So so usually the chocolate that's really expensive or you handmade from the scratch.
So what do you think is, as a guy, would you rather get the expensive chocolate or would you rather have one that's handmade?
You know what? This is the time the guy is tried. Some guy and sometimes me, you cannot really tell which one is giri choco or which one is homemade choco.
Oh, that's very cute.
Right? So guys sometimes don't know the name of the brand of the chocolate.
So they don't know if it's the good stuff or it's the cheap stuff.
Yeah. So sometimes guys are tricked by a girl.
So even in Japan, guys are clueless. And they have no idea what's going on.
Sometimes, yes. And some guy make a mistake to a girlfriend. Oh, isn't it cheap chocolate? You know, sometimes if your girlfriend makes a handmade chocolate, sometimes it doesn't taste good, but you're kind of supposed to eat tasty.
Yes, pretend it's nice.
Pretend to be tasty, but some guy cannot act sometimes, and they ended up doing the result in the bad consequences. But
after Valentine's Day, can you control yourself on Valentine's Day and share all the chocolates that you got, that you were given, and show them online with us on the news report?
You know what?
And then we can vote whether we think it's a giri chocolate or
because
the fancy ones.
No, because I'm really busy with Yokoso News. So, so for example, Arashi. You know, you saw Nino-kun last week.
Yeah.
Arashi-kun.
And he was coughing a little bit. He was coughing a little bit, so we think maybe he is one of the ones with the flu.
Yeah. But anyway, Nino-kun received like 10,000 of chocolates.
What? That's insane.
So Arashi office, Johnny and Associates office, the truck usually comes in with a full of chocolate.
So I saw Nino. He's a tiny, skinny little boy, probably weighs less than your friend that you went to pick strawberries with. There's no way he could eat that much chocolate.
Of course not.
Good evening.
So do they donate it to schools, or what do they do?
I don't know. I think so.
To celebrate the 131st anniversary.
But
That's just bizarre.
yeah. But that's the girl, they love Arashi. Many girls love Arashi. So yeah, of course. So if you're Arashi fan watching from the States, it's maybe make a chocolate, send it to Arashi at their office in Japan. But
Unbelievable.
yeah. So that's the culture of Valentine's Day in Japan. The day that girls appreciate guys. And so we have the other day called White Day. Huh?
White Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's on March 14th. A month after the Valentine's Day. That's the day that guy has to reply to a girl. From my record, I haven't really done it much.
Oh!
And many guys don't really do it much.
So they don't.
Oh,
Most guys just don't give chocolates back to the girls then.
No, it's not chocolate. Actually, guy has to be creative, actually.
So what would a guy give?
I don't know because I haven't had the opportunity. I never had a girlfriend on the White Day, and I didn't have a Japanese girl. I never had a Japanese girlfriend on the White Day. So I didn't have to. I did do the Valentine's Day thingy in the U.S. But I didn't have. So I gave out the present on Valentine's Day. So
So you have done some Valentine's Day. So if most guys on March 14th don't give, on White Day, don't give chocolates back to the girls.
Not much.
So this could be explaining why the birth rate in Japan is so low.
Nah, it's not that. It's not that. I'm sure it's not. It's just the chocolate Japanese. We have a criticism. It's just the chocolate company wants to encourage girls to wants to encourage the reason to sell the chocolate, and all the pastry stores wants to sell their chocolate or cakes.
So it's just a commercial day to boost sales.
Yeah.
And I have heard that now there is a pre-Valentine's chocolate that guys can give to girls to remind them that they don't want the goody chocolate, they want the good chocolate from them.
There's other all kinds of. I did introduce on my last year as well. There's also pre-engagement ring and letter too. Like a girl can buy the set of kit that contains the fake ring and then also the template letter that says that I will buy you a real ring.
And they give that on Valentine's Day?
No, you're talking about the pre-Valentine's Day gift, right?
So that's a pre-Valentine's Day. Okay, so a guy would buy that and give that to a girl.
No, girl.
The girl buys it?
Yeah, girl buys this. So this is made for the girl who's impatient towards his boyfriend who doesn't propose you. It's called propose propose enforcer kit.
I think guys would be mad if the girl bought that.
Yeah, but I have. I have it. Propose 強制キット.
I have not heard of this.
Yeah, I introduced like a. So this is the proposed
So it's like an
enforcer
engagement
kit.
ring.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So oh, actually no. Now 40% of the guy are making it, buying it too.
Oh, well, it's good that they've caught on.
Yeah. Well, because I think they cannot buy the real ring yet.
Right.
I think. But anyway, so when you buy this proposed enforcer kit, your significant others receive the package. And when you open the package, it has the letter. So they pretend that it's been sent from the company like giveaway.
Oh, okay.
So then fake letter said, congratulations, you won the first prize, you won the proposing set. You know. Then what does it contain is a proposed ring, which is the fake cheap.
The fake engagement ring. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think it's a cheap engagement like proposed ring, and a fake. And you have a piggy bag. I mean, what you call a
piggy bank. Yeah.
Yeah, piggy bank. Then you can save if you put the 500 yen coin into it. You were supposed to be able to save up to 50,000 yen, which is $500. In this piggy.
Is that enough to buy an engagement ring in Japan?
$500. You know, some people buy this much, right? Then contract.
A contract that is that like agreeing that you're going to save up the money to buy a real ring?
Yeah.
That is so funny.
But the good catch is, oh shoot, they now have English, Chinese, and Korean, and Russian.
Oh, how fun!
Oh shoot, I have to introduce these guys again one more time. But so this contract actually functions as a coupon for this company. They are the jewelry store.
Well, they're very clever. I would not have thought of marketing like that.
So you can get like $100 discount.
So they have an imitation ring that you can buy that comes with a piggy bank, so you can save up 500 yen or 5,000 yen to buy a real ring.
Yeah,
and
50,000 yen. 50,000 yen, which is $500.
Okay.
Then you get the 8,000 yen discount coupon, which is like which is the exactly same price of this product. This product costs you like 8,892 yen.
So this is like $100.
Yeah, it's like $100 set. Then you save up $500. Then you get the same amount of discount off, so that you can buy $600 worth of the engagement ring when times comes.
They are very, very smart, aren't they, to think of this advertising program.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm advertising to the people, right? You too, right? So, yeah, this is But
This is very clever.
yeah, so that's what I love about Japanese people. They are creative. Same thing as Valentine's Day and Christmas too. You know, Christmas wasn't really commercial, you know, but they made it to the day to give out the present to the kids. So
Well, they're kids. They need the present.
of course. But you know, this is the marketing for the commercial. Toy company at first. Now, give a present to yourself. So many electronics company wanted to. It's like same thing in the U.S. Best Buy do the Christmas sale. Blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's exactly the same. So anyway, thank you very much, Mona, for sticking with me for 2 hours. Even without any preparation at all, I somehow made the day. So my commitment to Yokoso News Weekly is that I do weekly shows, so I didn't want to take a break. But I did want to because I was thinking this is going to be such a boring show, so I didn't say Akim and Yuki to come on board. I didn't even send a text message to come to the board. I was going to do on solo, and finish it within like 30 minutes or something. But it kind of lasted me for 2 hours. So thank you very much, Mona.
You're welcome. I got you out of doing your taxes for 2 hours.
And I hope it wasn't boring show.
Not at all. Very educational.
Okay, thanks a lot. All right, cool.
Okay.
So we will conclude the show. I haven't decided anything for what we are going to do for the next show because I'm still dealing with tax and other stuff. But next show, I'm going to do it on February 6, 2011 on Sunday at 4 p.m. Yeah, maybe I'll do a Valentine's Day more legit and official way. I don't know. We'll see. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mona from Los Angeles, joining us on the phone, actually.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mona.
Look forward to next week, okay?
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.